Today is 911 day that I'm sharing lessons I learn. I'm learning how to support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about fear of rejection. And fear of rejection is one of the massive topics. I will touch on just a scratch of what is really fear of rejection, because I think that we need to speak about fear of rejection, because one of the things is that why is that important is that when you fear of rejection, you reject your future. When you fear of rejection, you reject your future. Why is that? Because when you don't act, when you're afraid of rejection and you delay the action, your future will be rejected. Because you can become a massive person in your skill, in your life, in your future, in your vision. But if you don't take action because you fear rejection, you reject your future. So there's a massive thing. Fear of rejection destroys more dreams than people can count. Because just afraid of rejection is one of the things that really kills dreams. So today we need to really share thoughts about where that fear of rejection is coming from. Because a lot of times when we really have a problem, we have some kind of difficulty, setback, disappointed, first thing that's really how to solve is awareness. Because when you have awareness about specific things, you're able to start work on it. And sometimes just being aware of it, you're able to solve it immediately because you're able to catch, oh, that's this fear of rejection. This is coming from here. I'm able to overcome that and really take action to make sure that I'm getting results. Because a lot of times when you really take action and you get rejected, a lot of times is not as bad as you thought. Or sometimes you don't get rejected and you really get through it and you are so happy that you took that initiative and make sure that you're able to succeed. So when I'm thinking about the first one is that it's very, very easy to understand. It's coming, a lot of people said that fear of rejection comes from our evolution, how we grew up. Because in the past, we wanted to be part of community. So if you are rejected by community, you probably will die because you're not able to live and survive by yourself. So having that old memory from the past that we used to belong to community, and if you don't belong to community, that means you are dead. And still, if we feel the same fear of rejection because we will not be part of a community, we will be dead. But that's not how it is now. I think that it's very, very important to understand that when you really pursue a new thing, when you pursue something that is not regular, when maybe you are one of 20 people, maybe there's only 5% of people like you in all universe. So that means that 19 people from 20 are totally different than you. And the way how you make decisions, the way how you think, the way how you act, the choices you make based on your age. So that means that when you will make those actions, it might be that you will be rejected by your friends. You will be rejected by your friends because you act differently, you think differently, you do things that they don't do, and they do the things that you don't do. And it could be scary. It could be scary to really say that I'm not who you are. I love you, I appreciate you, but I want different things. My vision is different. So that means I will not belong in this community. I will choose another one where maybe I will feel that I'm part of your community that aligns with who I am, with my values, with my morals, with everything. But it might be that it will be very hard because you are afraid of rejection. You are afraid of rejection by your old friends that they've been for 20 years, 30 years for you, and you've been there for them. But sometimes it's time. It's time to really say that I'm not afraid of rejection. And I belong, and there's a lot of people who are looking for me, and there's a lot of people that I'm looking for as well. So really understanding that there's belonging, sometimes we're able to attach that belonging to ourselves to make sure that we're able to, for a short period of time, to look for that community rather than being on your own. Number two, and I think that's very, very important, is self-esteem and identity. Self-esteem and identity. That means it might be that you have a strong community, that you belong, and you know that you are community, and they never will reject you, and you know that. But at the same time, when you're going to do some kind of work, maybe sales, and you're on a call and you fear rejection, so you're afraid to say the price, afraid to really sell the product because you're afraid of rejection. And I think that this a lot of times falls back into really how do you see yourself, and why is that? Because if you see yourself and if you attach yourself from the sale, if you detach yourself from the product you sell, and you really look into that person who is saying no, saying to the product, not you. Of course, and it's easy to say that the person said no to the product. But if when you're struggling with your identity, when you do not know who you are, when you do not know who you are, and you're looking, always looking to find out who you are, you start to attach your identity to multiple things that is not who you are. You start to look for places where is your identity, and start to attach your identity to everything. What you do, how much money you make, what do you have apps or not. Like, you start to attach identity what you have and what you do, but it's not who you are. There's a massive difference between what you have and what you do and who you are. So that is a big mistake. So when you fear of rejection in sales, a lot of time is that you attach your identity in what you do and what you have. So that means when people say no to your product because you attached your identity to what you do, to your sale, now of course you get afraid of that, and you are avoiding all sale altogether. But when you really have that strong identity and you know who you are, the sale is becoming easier and easier. And there's a lot of careers that people are potentially could be afraid of rejection. And that is part of course, how well do you know who you are? What is your self-esteem? That's why confident people are very good a lot of time in sales, because they know who they are, and they're able to detach the product, the service that they're selling, and who they are. And if a person says no, it doesn't influence their identity. Number 3, fear of rejection is that a lot of times people are just afraid of unknown, especially in relations. For example, a person who really wants to say that I like you more than a friend. So it means that fear of rejection is not just that person will say no, but like, what will happen? Like, we were friends for 2 years, for a year, for 5 years, so it doesn't matter. But now if they will say no, how everything will change. That fear of unknown is sometimes it's more scary than the fear of rejection. There's fear of rejection because it could lead to everything changed, and you don't want to that change. You don't want to really anything to change. You want to keep maybe even better, maybe the same, but you don't want to change. So fear of rejection is a lot of times fear of change as well. Number 4 is avoidance of pain. So a lot of times when we think about really rejection, there will be some kind of pain, but that pain is very short. Now, if you don't take action, that pain could be long. So that means that, of course, people sometimes not able to make that right decision. Everyone is struggling a lot with that when you really have fear of rejection, that rejection will be very short but painful. But if you don't take action, that pain will be long, prolonged, and very small pain, but is always will trigger you. Because a lot of times it's like, if you hold glass of water like this for a second, it will not hurt. But if you hold all day long, the glass of water will start to hurt shoulder. Exactly the same with fear of rejection. If you hold for a second, this will not hurt. But if you hold all day long, your internal shoulder, your internal muscles will start to hurt. So it's better to really take that action and really potentially lose, rather than waiting all day long and really have that internal battle all day long. Now, there is, of course, an attachment style. Now, if you have been abandoned when you were a child, it's attachment style is that people reject you. And I think that this attachment to people is one of the things that people could be afraid, because people start to feel that they are rejected, they are abandoned. And of course, there is a lot of different things about rejection and how people have different emotions regarding real connection with other people. And we need to understand where that fear of rejection is coming from. And I think that there's a lot of times we need to understand, okay, why I have that fear and where is that coming from? Because I said that there's a lot of different reasons why we could potentially be fearful of rejection. And that's a lot of times like, oh, you need to deal with this fear of rejection by thinking that there is no fear whatsoever. Because some people say that, oh, fear is just an illusion. And if you try to deal with fear by trying to think that fear is just illusion, it might not work. So that means what will work for you specifically with your situation. And of course, when we know that, we're able to really improve that. And I think that a lot of times when people really want to be perfectionists, they are afraid of rejection as well. Because what it says is that if you are a true perfectionist, because that's a terrible thing to be. Perfectionist is a terrible thing to be because perfection is the lowest thing that you can achieve because you never will be perfect. But when you try to be perfectionist, that means that when you will get rejected in, for example, sales or anything between, that means that it might be that you are not perfect because they said no to your pitch. They said no to the thing that you offer. That means that something that you do is not perfect. So that means that could be really detrimental to your identity as perfectionist because it's part of, again, identity, because you believe that you are perfectionist and you seek the best possible way. But when you seek excellence, that is much better because you know that excellence is doing the best job 80% of the time. That is excellent because no one is able to do 100% all the time. You need to give 100%, but the 100% of this will not lead to 100% results. So of course we need to understand which part of the day we need to give that 100% and really allocate that 100% during that most important part. So fear of rejection, of course, this is a topic that I will really dig in the future even more because it's a very, very important topic. One of the most important topics because I said it at the beginning. When you are afraid of rejection and you allow that fear of rejection not to take action, you reject your future. This is a massive thing. If you allow your fear of rejection to control your actions, you reject your future. And if you say that I'm not getting results, it might be that that's the case is that you just don't take action because you're afraid. That's okay. That's a good awareness step. But now it's time to really look at how I'm able to really take those small steps and take actions that I could really overcome that fear of rejection and make things happen. A lot of times it's just really going and building your identity, understanding who you are, that will allow you to overcome that fear. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.